also has sent each of you an email or has reached out to you by phone, and I personally would like to extend the invitation to you to come out to SP Morton next Friday, anytime you're choosing, and share a Dr. Seuss book. It doesn't have to be a Dr. Seuss book. It can be your favorite book with our classes. It's an event that we do each year. We've already heard from the credit union. They're sending a big team over to come and read. The police department is sending some folks. So we want to extend that opportunity to you. We would love to have you come in. Our kids look forward to guest readers, and you'll enjoy it, I promise. If you haven't done it, you should do it. Thank you for your time.
Well, before you leave, Gary, before you leave. I'm sure Burkhalter can concur, and Mr. Parker, Mr. Griffin, Mr. Warren, Ms. Thornton, just the whole team, Walker Briggs, Mr. Gary has just been doing an exceptional job at SP Morton, and I come over there with such high energy, and he gets nervous when he first sees me, but we connect and we're all in for the kids, and he's actually supported me with some work that I'll be doing. I feel confident. There's a new energy that I feel around instruction, and a lot of it is because of your leadership. And I just want to thank you so much for everything that you're doing over there. The kids are excited, the teachers are excited. Ms. Burkhalter doesn't want it to be a competition, but I'm over the fourth grade team. Whoop, fourth grade. So we're doing an amazing job with reading passages, preparing for SOLs, math, and again, it really is a testament to what you're doing at that school. And I just want to give you a round of applause and just say thank you. Would you agree?
Yes.
SP Morton team? SP Morton team, would you agree? Yeah. All right. Absolutely amazing.
That's exactly what I was going to say, Superintendent Sterling to him. Okay, next up we have Stephanie Cox, our reading specialist, and Marilyn Freeman, our instructional specialist, to give updates for J.P. King.
Just another class act.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm providing the writing update for JP King because that's our life right now. Our test is 3 to 4 weeks away. So that's kind of consuming all of 8th grade right now. So for our writing benchmark 2, which we gave at the end of January, we had 30 students in tier 1, which was up from December. We gave a mock SOL before we went home for break. This was also up from last year from benchmark 2. Different set of students, but for benchmark 2 last year, that percentage was 29%. So we're much higher than where we were last year. We still have a lot of work to do, and we have a plan in place for the next, well, we started February 1st, but leading up until the SOL. So highlights of our plan, we do have a day tutor, which we have not had before, so we're very thankful for that. We have Ms. Reddick coming in to help with that. So that allows us to have small groups on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. With the inclusion class, Ms. Valley helps to pull small groups, but those are data driven. They are very flexible, so we readjust according to data, and we're able to do tier 1 instruction and then pull and work with the kids specifically on what they need. We know that grammar is our area of growth for the SOL, and so that is our main focus, and that is something we do daily. The students write well. And they can write an essay, they can pour an essay out, but it's the grammar component that traditionally in the past has hung us up. So that's really where we're putting most of our time and effort. So on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, myself, Ms. Ernst, the teacher, Ms. Reddick, and Ms. Valley, we pull small groups. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, we do stations in the class just to give them a break from small groups and to kind of change the pace of the instruction. And so those stations are also data driven. So they're skills focused. One will be on punctuation and grammar on one specific skill. We have one on revision and research, We have one where they're actually drafting and they have someone there to guide them through that process. And then we have one on reading because we don't want to, leave behind everything else that they have to work on. We've also added in an hour of tutoring in 21st century. So I'm in for that hour and Ms. Reddick is in for that hour. And those are also data-driven groups based on our assessments that we give our students. So we have a plan in place. We've gotten a lot of positive feedback. We're seeing growth from the students. So we're very, very excited for what's coming. We have our first Saturday Academy this Saturday from 8 to 11. So we have 50 students slated to come for that. So that's writing at JP King right now.
Awesome, wonderful.
Good evening. Good evening. And I am here to actually announce our first SOL scores for our first semester for our civics and our civics class, and as well as our grade 8 science. And for our civics and economics class, we had 31 students out of 34 to actually pass the SOL with 91.18%. And we had 1,600 in our civics, and we were very excited. We announced that student in the class and on the intercom, and he was very excited.
That's
so
wonderful.
We cheered him on to let him know that he did an outstanding job. We also, for our grade 8 science, we had 28 out of our 39 students who passed, and that was 71.79% pass rate. So we're off to a great start with our SOLs, and we're looking forward to what is to come next. Thank you.
Well, congratulations again, JPK. You're off to a great start with your SOLs. At this time, we'll have an update from Franklin High School. As you all know, Mr. Phelps couldn't be with us tonight, but we would like to introduce to you all formally the instructional specialist that joined us in December, Shonda Harris-Muhammad.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Madam Superintendent, school board members, and all assembled. I am Shonda Harris-Muhammad, and I started December the 7th and have not stopped since. So I wanted to start off with sharing with you, Mr. Phelps sent me a text, and I wanted to inform you that our boys basketball team did not win this evening. We lost 59-44, but they fought hard all season. They did a marvelous job, so I just wanted to share that with you all. We do not have a PowerPoint, but next time I'll make sure that we do. We do. Oh, thank you. Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Burkhardt, for having my back. I wanted to share a couple of things with you. Since I arrived on December the 7th, we have been moving, and the theme for the second semester has been maximizing instruction, minimizing disruptions in the entire building. So that is our theme for the remainder of the semester. We have been doing observations daily. We have been meeting with teachers to talk about those observations. Also, in addition to that theme for the second semester is alignment. We want all of our curriculum and instruction, our pacing guides, our lesson plans, and also the assessment to be aligned with the curriculum that we have to teach our students. So looking at our first semester data right here, we have, I'm going to start with our overall English. Our writing and reading combined, 60 out of 81, we're at a 74%. So that is an increase, and we're going to continue to increase with that data because we are starting our writing SOLs next month, actually March the 4th and March the 5th. So we do anticipate a lot of our 11th graders to do extremely well on that in a couple of weeks. Overall math, this is an area, I would say an area of concern. 55 total out of 111 students. 55 had taken the math SOL. That's a combined Algebra 1, Geometry, and Algebra 2 out of 111, and we're at a 49.5%. And the math team, just to talk to you a little bit about the expectation that the administration has currently at the high school. Since I've been at the high school, again, our focus has been alignment of pacing guides, lesson plans, and so forth. Our math teachers have also attended professional development in Lynchburg that dealt directly with unpacking the standards and alignment of their curriculum. I spent an entire day with our math team unpacking the standards as well, in Algebra 1, Geometry, and Algebra 2. I taught them how to unpack their own standards, how to make sure that their assessment that they build are in alignment with their 2016 standards, and also how to use the vertical articulation and mathematics to ensure that we are maximizing instruction. So I know the scores, and let's be transparent. They're not where any of us want them to be, but we have some things in place that are tangible and that can make a success for our students, because that's why we're there. So I'm looking forward to success in our math second semester. Overall, in our science, 68 out of 88, thank you, which gave us a 77.2 percentage rate. That was also an increase. And then our overall history, 56 out of 100 equals, we are at a 56%. This is not a factor with accreditation, which is new, but our students still need to obtain a history verified credit for graduation. So we are, at the high school, we're working on maximizing our instruction and minimizing our disruptions. We are constantly talking about, in our professional development, higher order teaching strategies from the beginning of the bell to the end of the bell. And so our observations also have to mirror what we ask our teachers to do in professional development. So I assure you that Mr. Phelps and I are working together as a team, constantly every day, ensuring that our teachers are teaching at their maximum ability, and also our students are on task and engaged for 90 minutes.
Excellent, excellent.
And I also wanted to share with you, I have one more thing. I have some dates that I would like to share with the board, if I may. March the 5th through the 8th is our writing test. April the 10th through the 12th, we have retakes for our non-writing SOLs, and also our term graduates will be a part of that as well. May 28th through the 31st will be our second semester SOL testing dates. May the 11th is our prom. We wanted to share that with you. And also June the 3rd is our second semester senior projects. And thank you to those board members who attended first semester. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. Any questions?
Welcome
Yes.
aboard. Glad to have
Yes.
you. Glad to have you.
You're doing a wonderful job.
Thank you, Mrs. Harris Muhammad. So those updates from each school are changes that were made since January 2019. I will say since Monday, a lot of changes have happened, and we'll be updating you on those as well next week, as Ms. Sterling gave you a preview for that. And lastly, we'd like to give you an update with the professional development with Dr. Lewin. She spent time with each principal. She started out day one at Franklin High School with Mr. Phelps. He had to present his data, then they did classroom observations, and then they focused around special education and how to close the achievement gaps in math, and she gave him next steps. Day two was spent at JPK, and it was focused on, because Mr. Parker is strong with data, I didn't have to start the day there with them. But because he came up in his building from an AP to a principal, because he's from this community, she wanted to focus on sustainability and still building capacity, because even though he has the staff that he's sustained, what happens if it changes? What happens as we bring in cohorts of students? And in the meantime, as you're going as a instructional leader, how do you build your staff and students to capacity within that? So she focused with him and his team on that. And within that, she also saw a strength that Mrs. Cox and Mrs. Bland and Mrs. Freeman had with the dialogue around data. She was like, it'd be great if the teachers could come observe that. And I said, we actually had already started that. So we'll continue to keep that going, but that was a highlight for her. And then at SP Morton, she spent her third day with Mr. Griffin and the entire administrative team, because he is new to Franklin City Public Schools and it's his second year in the principalship. So she focused on building to capacity, instructional leadership, distributive leadership, and accountability. And Mr. Gary already shared some of his highlights from there. She also focused on special education to close the gap group as a follow-up from the academic review. And then lastly, for day 4, she spent with Mr. Parker and Mr. Griffin at SP Morton because Mr. Parker is now working over at SP Morton part-time with collaborative leadership and how to carry that out together as a team within the building to maximize as we close out the school year. Dr. Lewin debriefed with me each day with the feedback and next steps that she came with, and she has provided a written plan to Ms. Sterling. Any questions?
Working with Dr. Lewin, this is one of the first professional developments that all 3 principals have asked for her to return to provide them additional support. And I was very pleased to hear that they felt that there was some value with professional development tailored just for their needs. So we'll definitely have her come back.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful as always. Now we'll do the
Chairman, do we have some field trips to
Yes.
deal with? Field
We
trips?
have some field trips. Thank you so much. Ms. Breckhalter, would you like to return, please?
Anita, can you take me back, please?
Really forget.
Keep going back.
Thank you.
Keep going. Yes, that's the end. Go back, go up. Excuse me, Ms. Moore, can't you go up?
It's from the,
Keep going
the first one is the
Other way.
guys.
No, go the other way.
Keep going. Keep right.
A little bit further.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Keep going. Keep going. You're almost
Mr.
there.
Phelps and his paperwork.
Almost.
There we are.
All right, at this time, we'd like to present to you field trip with Franklin High School on February 23rd to go to,
The HBCU.
yes, Washington DC to the HBCU. They attend annually and they're asking your permission to attend. They will leave at 3 a.m. in the morning and return at 6 p.m. They want to take 40 students.
What time do they leave in the morning? Do you remember?
3 a.m.
3 a.m.
Probably said that.
I just have to relook that.
Better than 3 a.m.
I move Chairman Holt to approve the Franklin High School field trip to the HBCU Festival in Washington, D.C. on February 23rd, 2019.
I
Thank you.
second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries.
Thank you.
You never
Is
know.
it Howard College or William and Mary?
Yeah, there's more. Can we just make the
You got
motion?
me, Anita. This is sensitive. I'm gonna let you go.
It's for the College of William and Mary for the Scholastic Bowl for the VHSL Region 1 State Scholastic Bowl Tournament.
Okay, there we go. Yes, for Franklin High School to attend the Scholastic Bowl on February 22nd through the 23rd at the College of William and Mary in Williamsburg, Virginia. They want to take 9 students. They want to leave at 6 p.m. and return at 6 p.m. the following day.
If I could just comment on that, I understand our Scholastic Bowl team is doing very well.
Yes, they are. And they have another competition on
There he
Saturday.
is back there.
Congratulations, Dr. Young.
I believe also Mr. Yana provided some information that stated this was the first time.
That is correct.
Okay, could you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yes, absolutely.
That is wonderful.
So good evening to all the board members, Ms. Sterling, Mr. Holt. So this is the first time, as far as I know, in documented history for Virginia High School League that Franklin has represented the Region 1 for Scholastic Bowl at the state level. So
Wonderful.
you.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you. Guys, how many students did we go? 9
Congratulations.
We have
students?
9 students, that's correct.
Congratulations.
How do you think we're gonna fare?
I think we're going to do very well.
All right.
But we're going for the win.
There you go. Excellent, thank you.
Do you have any
That's
more
good.
questions for me at this time?
No, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Brandon.
That's wonderful.
Chairman Holt, I motion to approve the Franklin High School Scholastic Bowl field trip to William and Mary on February 22nd, 23rd, 2019.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Now, you may
Now you can
sit.
go. Okay, and now we have we already did that. I do apologize. We have to go back. And the superintendent's overview. I would like to present to you the Franklin City Public Schools Honor Society's new advisors that will be taking over the Honor Societies at the elementary and the middle. The High School Honor Society advisors are still being identified at this time. The elementary school will be led by Rebecca Geary. We're very excited about that, and she is as well. And the middle school will be Miss Lawrence, Miss Freeman Lawrence and Treva Lee. She's not on here, but they both will be leading that. And when the high school is identified, we will identify professional development for them to participate in the summer. However, I do want the board to know that we will be having a collaborative induction ceremony. So we're very excited looking at the data that we possibly have about 50 potential scholars that can be inducted into the National Honor Society. So instead of doing 3 different ceremonies, we will have an elementary, middle, and high collaborative ceremony at once. I may have to notify the fire department because they have their kids, but that's neither here nor there. It's going to be a wonderful ceremony, and please look for that announcement to take place no later than May. It should take place in April, but early May is our deadline to have our members inducted. And all of our memberships have been updated with the national site. So we are currently active and ready to induct our future National Honor Society young people.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Superintendent Sterling. This is wonderful news.
It's so
Yes, it is.
And I do have one instructor who has approached me at the elementary, though, about Beta. So if we can get the National Honor Society and Beta, it will be more opportunities for our students to express themselves academically and through the arts. Last week, I was in Los Angeles and I presented at the AASA conference, and it was over Jason's Learning. And the 2 people that, well, the one person, Ms. Freeman, had left at this time, but I presented over our implementation process. They were very curious as to how Franklin City Public Schools implemented the Jason Learning as well as monitored the Jason Learning. And it wasn't so much the implementation that people came up to me after the presentation to inquire about. Let me go, I don't know what page this is on, but on page 6, because it was a superintendent's conference, a number of superintendents wanted to talk about the information that I was providing to my board. And that was an aha moment for them. And we discussed how the board is very familiar with the usage. They are familiar with how much the programs cost and how it is being tied to instruction. So that was some aha moments for them, and I was pleased to be able to talk about what's happening at Franklin City Public Schools and at the Jason's Learning. One of the things I do want to say about Jason's Learning that we're very excited about is that one 7th or 8th grade student has the opportunity to apply to do a week-long trip in the Bahamas with the Argonauts. That's what they call them, the Argonauts. So there's going to be all the schools in the Jason Learning Consortium. There'll be one student and one teacher, and they will go to the Bahamas, and they will be tracking sea turtles going from land and to the water. And that's going to be very exciting. Last year they went to the rainforest in Costa Rica. And this is all paid through our funds with Jason's Learning. So that is another opportunity for our students to be able not only to explore STEM fields, but to explore it real time and in the world. So we're very excited about that, and I will keep the board updated on that as well. Right now, that concludes the report for the superintendent, and I've also provided you important dates to remember.
We'll take a look at those dates. Next week, Mr. Griffin starts off with reading Dr. Zeus' book. There are reading activities all week. I got a call today about Friday. I hope you will get one and will participate. Our next work session is March the 7th, and our next monthly board meeting, regular meeting, is March 21st. I believe Dr. Hall Leonard has some things.
Yes, and I'm trying to get a date. Hold on one second. All right, the first item of business I have for board members was a Franklin Southampton Wellness Coalition, and the date on this agenda states 1/17/2019, but actually that meeting was held, that was at 11 o'clock on February the 19th. So if you would change the date, that is a misprint on their agenda. That meeting was held at February 19th, 2019. And I have provided here the agenda. There was a working lunch meeting, and we talked earlier in reference to the different community organizations that were present. Some, that is the Franklin City Department of Social Services, Franklin City Public Schools, also the health department, and as well as local mental health agency, Providential Psychological Services, also a representative from Southampton Memorial Hospital. The representative from Southampton Memorial Hospital, you have in your packet and also on the screen, provided information on the detox unit, and so that information is provided here that we could share with families who may be in need of services. They want to get the information out to the community. Also, information that was provided during the Wellness Coalition included information by the Western Tidewater Community Services Board and a collaborative effort with a peer-led military transitioning program. So if we know of military families in our schools, they're asking that we would please forward the information to them, and they would like to work with those families and help them transition. There was also information at the Franklin Southampton Wellness Coalition for Down the Middle Foundation for the first annual Teen Summit Level Up, and that meeting will be held March the 2nd, 2019, Paul D. Camp Community College Workforce Development Center. There is a registration, so the information is here. The information will also go out to in the schools, and we wanted to make the school board aware. And also information was shared from Mount Olive Food Pantry, a Kingdom Community Partnership, a ministry of MOHC, a 501c3 faith-based organization. The information was shared in reference to the days of distribution in the community and how families are able to also take bags to seniors who are not able to get out in the community for the food pantry distribution. And lastly, for the coalition, the announcements were given for Alawite County, Southampton County, and Franklin City Public Schools for the pre-K preschool screenings for the 2019-2020 school year. And that is for children that are 4 years of age on or before September 30th, 2019 and live specifically for Franklin, we would parents would contact, that is Paige Drury at SP Morton Elementary School. We're asking that this information is not only given out or distributed at the school level, but for our faith-based organizations, civic organizations, and we wanted to share that information tonight for those who may be viewing or go back and review our meetings live or on YouTube, that they can call the elementary school and they will fill out a screening application. They will receive a letter with an appointment, date and time, and information will be given to them. Also, we learned tonight by Mr. Kelvin Edwards that information will also go out to all of the community organizations, including the Department of Social Services, to make sure that families are aware. I also attended the Western Tidewater Community Service Board collaboration, and I have provided in for you the newsletter, the Smart Beginnings Western Tidewater Winter 2019 newsletter, and Mr. Chairman Holt also attended as well. That was an excellent collaboration meeting of many community partners. Also, you have tonight the Pre-K 3 Summit that was sponsored by WHRO, was held on January 30th, 2019. The theme, Closing Learning Gaps in Early Education Through Elementary School Model. I have provided the agenda here for you. We did have Lady Pam Northam, who was on the panel, in addition to Dr. Darren Whitney, Superintendent of Suffolk Public Schools, and I must applaud Franklin City Public Schools, our Superintendent, Tamara Sterling, and their staff. We had the largest attendance of any school division in Hampton Roads. Franklin City had the largest attendance. So I think we need to applaud ourselves for that. I'm not sure who attended, but Mrs. Burkhalter and Mr. Griffin and your staff, I mean the principals, our lead people were there. It was wonderful. And they talked about Franklin City, that we had the largest number of attendees for that program. So I have included for you here the agenda. And also, the Governor School for the Arts held their regional board meeting at the CSEP Administration Building on February the 6th. I have provided the agenda here for you. Information was given, and we can distribute that information to our students for local camps this summer. And these are camps that have not been offered before. So we want to make sure that our students are aware of the Vocal Arts Camp. That is July 7th through the 13th, and also the Coastal Broadway Collaborative Camp that will be held July 8th through the 26th this summer. And I believe that concludes that. Yes, and you want me to just go ahead on to this?
You want to talk about the marker?
Yes, all right, and we'll, if you have your information on the screen, the information for the historical marker. I don't know who's.
It's under business of the board is another tab.
I'll give her a minute so that everybody can see it as we review it. Okay. At our board meeting, we approved of the collaboration with the Hayden Group to establish a historic marker for the late Della Hayden. And so we have provided for the board tonight the application for your review. We ask that everyone would please review it. If there are any changes, we can make changes or edits. First, you would have the Department of Historic Resources application to propose placement of a new Virginia Historical Highway marker. And here it outlines the dates. The marker criteria is listed for us here. How to develop and submit a marker application, all of that is included. Also, information is included in reference to the biographical sources. We have listed those sources for you here and provided the artifacts. I want to thank board member Jessica Grant for being instrumental in completing the application. She met with myself along with Superintendent Tamara Sterling to review the application packet to prepare in presenting this to the board. So please review. Now, in our packet tonight, you will see that we've also included a map as well as artifacts of the sources. And the sources in the map that will be presented with the application will be in color. Trying to make sure I got everything in here.
What's going to be the proposed text for the marker?
Yes,
Is on
which
there.
pages? And the proposed text
8
for the
and 15.
marker is also included. And so if there's any language in there that we feel that needs to be changed, we would ask everyone to look at it. We can get back with Mrs. Moore, at least. I believe we're trying to mail this, I believe it says February 22nd.
Exactly, and I'm not certain if we're going to be voting on this because it has to be mailed by March 1st.
Well, the board has already voted
They
to
did
approve.
already approve it, you're
Yes,
right.
so if there are no changes, and we can review this, and if there are changes, we can get those changes to Mrs. Moore by tomorrow. But if there are no changes, the board already
Thank you.
approved the collaboration. We are very grateful for letters of support from our city mayor. Frank M. Rabel has provided the letter of support. It is included. Also, a letter from Amanda C. Jarrett, our city manager, is also included. Our mayor, City of Franklin, says the City of Franklin supports the efforts to recognize and memorialize Della I. Hayton for her contributions to the city with a historical marker. If approved, the city will assist with the installation and maintenance of the marker. The former Hayton High School, which was named for Mrs. Hayton, is undergoing major renovations to house and serve seniors in the community. The school provided an educational foundation for African American students from 1953 until 1970. After the successful desegregation of the Commonwealth's educational system, the school served as a middle school until its closure in 1986. In 2013, the school was placed on the National Register of Historic Places. A monument in her memory and honor will ensure that generations to come will know of her accomplishments and contributions to the city of Franklin and the Commonwealth of Virginia. Again, we support and encourage a favorable consideration of a historical marker recognizing Della Hayton for her outstanding service to the citizens and city of Franklin. Sincerely, Frank M. Rabel, Mayor of the City of Franklin. Are there any questions or discussion? And the proposed text, it says page 8 of 15. Eminent educator Della Irving Hayton was born in slavery 1851 in Tarboro, North Carolina, and raised by her grandmother until reunited with her mother in 1865 in Virginia. Della attended schools in Franklin and in 1875 entered Hampton Normal and Agricultural Institute with Booker T. Washington as a fellow student. She began teaching in rural Virginia 1875 prior to graduating to help finance tuition and graduated in 1877. After graduating in 1880, she married a school principal and fellow Hampton alumnus, Lindsay Hayton, who died within a few months after their wedding. Following his death in 1881, Della Irving Hayton was elected principal of a school in Franklin, where she worked for 9 years, then returned to her alma mater, Hampton Institute, to serve as lady principal, and then lady principal of the State Normal State School at Petersburg, later known as Virginia State College. In 1904, she organized the Franklin Normal and Industrial Institute and was its principal. By 1916, Franklin had buildings and land to run a small farm and dormitory to board dozens of women students funded by donations solicited by Hayton. In 1953, Hayton High School in Franklin, later to be listed on the National Register of Historic Places, was named for Della I. Hayton, and in 2016, Della Irving Hayton was included as one of the 15 Most Influential People in Western Tidewater History by Progress Magazine. So we thank everyone, the school board, for agreeing to the collaboration with the Hayden Group. And if we don't have any edits or changes, we will get this in the mail. And lastly, I wanted to commend Joseph P. King. There was this superintendent's memo that went out in reference to providing resources for Black History Month. And our middle school actually took the reins and held a Black History program recently. Myself, I know I saw Mrs. Phillips. We were in attendance. It was an excellent program. I believe the theme was Get on Board. It was awesome. And that they had a train, they actually, I believe the teacher was Mrs. Braxton, Mrs. Braxton. Would you like to tell us a little bit? I don't want to butcher that up. Just a quick snippet, is that okay, Superintendent Sterling?
Absolutely.
I don't want to mess it up.
1 minute.
Good evening, Chairman Hope, Vice Chair Dr. Hall Leonard, Ms. Sterling, school board members. Yes, we had a Black History program. The name of the Black History program was Get on Board. Ms. Braxton, who's our 6th grade history teacher, she led the charge along with the whole 6th grade team, obviously with our students. Ms. Lawrence and some of our specialist teachers, Mr. Robinson, our band teacher, he had the students singing that night as well. We had a full auditorium of parents and guests. It was a great night. We had 2 school board members there, Dr. Hall Lennon and Ms. Phillips. They attended, and thank you for all of your support. The Get on Board at the end of the program, we talked to our parents, and pretty much we told our parents that we're gonna make sure your babies are successful. Your babies are our babies. We're pushing them to be success, and I ended with asking them to make sure they got on board. So it was a great success. We have great children here in Franklin, and we have great support from central office, school board, and even the city. A lot of parents showed up, and they were very appreciative. So it was truly a blessing, and we're looking forward to moving our babies forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions for me?
Concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Parker.
Thank you.
Dr. Hall Leonard, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
And I want to also say thank you, even in her absence, to Ms. Grant for taking the
Yes.
lead on this project with the Della Hayden marker, and Dr. Paul Leonard as well for helping her out with that.
Yes.
Anybody have anything?
I actually have one thing. I did last Thursday attend the Appomattox Regional Governor's School Board meeting, and just wanted to put it on everyone's radar. One of the things that they are discussing is a tuition increase. They are looking at an increase. They're not quite sure yet of how much, but they're saying about $250 or less per student is what they're looking at right now. So I did want to bring that back and share that with all of you and put that on your radar, that is something at this time that they are looking at. Another discussion that has come up as well with them is the cost of fees associated for students to attend that school, because it's on average, these students are spending anywhere from $150 to $250 per year in additional fees, in addition to the tuition that we as the divisions are picking up. So the question has been posed back to the board from other board members: how can we mitigate that for students that attend that may not have the financial means? So that is another item that they are discussing at this time. So I did want to share that with all of you.
They have a new director.
They do.
Yes.
Dr. Albin. The students love him. He has really hit the ground running. He is very, very hands-on. He's very active. He is always out of the office. He's never in the office. He's out in the halls with the students, talking with the students, talking with the staff, looking for ways to, because Appomattox Regional Governor's School is a school not just for artistically gifted students, it's for academically gifted students. And he's looking for ways to bring that curriculum from the academic standpoint forward from where it is now and improve upon what's there. More AP dual enrollment opportunities is one thing that he's looking at right now, as well as other options, and maybe changing up the curriculum to meet the students' needs.
So I would say, Ms. Phillips, that is definitely a discussion that we would want to have. If you would keep Franklin City Public Schools abreast as you all meet as a board at
Absolutely.
Appomattox in reference to the tuition and fees and what we would be able to do for our students in Franklin City to make sure that they are successful or would be able to attend the governor's school.
Absolutely. And one other thing that they did bring, that Dr. Albin did mention at our last meeting this past week, was that they actually have done some looking and they have 12 additional open slots that are available. So they are looking back to divisions to see if they are open to or wanting to increase the number of students that they are sending. They do have 12 additional slots that are available if divisions are looking at that.
Similar information was shared at the Governor's School of the Arts Regional Board member, and they did provide information to us. Superintendent Sterling was there as well in reference to the number of students that we've had over the last, I believe since 2015 up until now, that we want to make sure that we're talking to those students early on in middle school, like 5th grade, starting as early as 4th and 5th grade, because you have to kind of prepare them for the rigor and also to prepare the parents for what is to come. But also we received in reference to the school in Petersburg, Appomattox, recently, this week on NBC 12, some of us probably got that news. One of our students was featured with the award-winning a cappella group Dragon Scales on NBC 12 with Dr. Joyner, and they have concerts that are coming up this week. And they did an excellent job, and we can provide that link to all board members if you would like to see.
And they are looking at nationals.
They are.
That's exciting.
So that is exciting, and we're actually excited that one of our students here in Franklin City Public Schools participates with this award-winning a cappella group.
Anything else? Thank you all for coming and sitting through a long meeting. Tammy Moore, congratulations. Thank you. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
I
Second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Everybody.
We got it
Thank
all.
you.